Hey friends, welcome back to the Guitar Max channel, and today I want to talk about Japanese guitars. For many decades now, really since the 1980s, Japanese guitars have had a reputation for extreme quality. They often feature craftsmanship that rivals and sometimes exceeds their American counterparts. And for a certain period of time, really from about 1985 to 2005, Japanese guitars were this amazing combination of really great quality and also affordability. A good example of this might be the old Jackson DK2 models, right? The dinky models made in Japan. They had great specs, they played great, they looked awesome, and they were really affordable. I mean, it was a great guitar that was priced at, in most cases, well under $1,000. So what happened, right? What happened to those guitars? Well, in the case of those Jacksons, actually the factory that made those guitars in Japan was wiped out in the 2011 Fukushima tsunami. And that factory made a lot of other guitars, not just those Jackson DK2s. But more to the point for this video, over the past recent years, the prices of Japanese guitars have gone up and up and up. And so today, yeah, you can still get, like if we're using Jackson as the example, you can still get a made in Japan Jackson, but it costs 3 times what it used to. So with all that being said, you can imagine how pleased I am to play this guitar knowing that it is made in Japan and somehow they have managed to rewind the prices back to what they were like 20 years ago. This is the Vola OZ RV TNC, and this guitar with a custom hard case costs $13.99. And this is actually one of their higher end models, one of the higher end, more expensive guitars that Vola makes. And you can get some other versions of this guitar, you know, without the flame top and stuff. It's the same body shape and everything, down around $850. So you're basically paying like Schecter prices, but for a guitar that is made in Japan. Now, there's something else here which is really key to this whole thing. You know all of those cool features that I've been talking about recently on the channel that all of these newer companies are offering, like the stainless steel frets and the roasted woods and so forth? This guitar has all of those things. So it's not just the fit and finish and craftsmanship that you're paying for, but the features of this guitar are really incredible. And to be clear, Vola sent this to me, and I know that these guitars are really doing the rounds right now on a lot of the guitar channels, but I'm at the point where I can really pick and choose what I review. And when I opened the case and I saw this and I picked it up, my reaction was, finally, this is what people have really been waiting for. Okay, so let me go ahead and get into the specs of this guitar, and in particular, this really wild, like, pickup switching system that they have on the guitar. But of course, guys, real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, checking out cool new guitars, and staying up on all the latest news in the guitar universe, and you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing right now. Okay, so let's check out this guitar and let's go through the specs. So the body is mahogany. It's got a flame maple cap on here, so this is not a veneer top. This is an actual, like, thick maple top. It's got a one-piece roasted maple neck and fretboard. On the fretboard, we've got 22 stainless steel frets. These are like the medium jumbo frets. Now you've got standard dot inlays on the surface of the fretboard. The side dots are the luminlays, right? So these are glow-in-the-dark fret markers on the side, perfect for your dark stages. The hardware, the bridge, and the tuners is Goto, and these are locking tuners up here, which I always love. Also, another quick thing about the neck is they've done one of my favorite things. Even though the paint on the body is gloss, the paint, or the finish on the neck, I should say, is satin. So you have a really, really smooth finish on the back of the neck, so you can slide around no problem at all. Okay, now we got to talk about this pickup system, because this is pretty wild. So it's a humbucker in the bridge, single in the middle, and then a blade style humbucker, single coil sized humbucker in the neck position. And the deal is you've got coil splitting, right? So you can split the coils on the bridge pickup and on the neck pickup, so you can only use one blade of the dual blade pickup. The other thing is that you've got this little switch right here, And it's not a kill switch or anything like that. You know, there's a down position and an up position. And what that does is it actually bypasses the volume and tone controls and gives you just a direct signal that doesn't go through the rest of the wiring on the guitar, because as you guys might know, when the signal goes through the tone pot and the volume pot, you lose some signal going through that extra wiring and going through the pots. So this switch here lets you bypass all of the volume and tone controls, and you can still, you know, use the pickup selector depending on the pickup you want, but you do get a noticeably more powerful signal coming straight out of the guitar. And this is not an active system or anything. You don't need any batteries or anything like that. So it goes without saying that you can get a really wide variety of tones from this guitar, but of course I want you guys to hear those tones. So let's go ahead and get into the demo. Now for the demo, I'm going to play through my Boss IR200. That's a cab and amp simulator, and it's about a $400 piece of equipment. So I'm not using any super high-end, like, you know, studio gear or anything like that to alter the sound of the guitar. But anyway, let's go ahead and plug it in and listen to how it sounds. And then we'll talk a little bit more about the playability and the features afterwards. Okay guys, so let's talk about the playability and the sound of this guitar. So first thing I got to talk about, you know, that really jumps out to me is just the feel of the neck. It's a wonderful feeling neck, you know, beautifully finished frets. Of course, these are the stainless steel frets, like I said. They're not massive extra jumbo frets, but they are tall enough to make the guitar very responsive. And, you know, all of the, you know, there's no fret problems or anything like that whatsoever. The other thing is, I mentioned the satin finish, but the profile of the neck is really, really nice. It's a very shred profile. They are calling this a modern C shape. To me, it feels more like a D. It's very flat on the back of the neck, and it's a thin neck. It's a very Japanese feeling neck. It's like an Ibanez. Now this is mostly a visual thing, but I love reverse headstocks. You guys probably know my signature guitar has a reverse headstock. And you could make the argument that on this guitar, because there's no locking nut, you have the longer strings on top. You know, the bass strings are the longer strings with the reverse headstock. Some people argue that gives the guitar a thicker, fuller tone. It kind of exaggerates the bass frequencies on the guitar. People argue about it all the time, but at the very least, it looks awesome. Now, with this pickup switching system here, yes, you can absolutely get a huge variety of tones. One thing which I think is actually really cool, which kind of caught me off guard, is the low gain tones that you can get out of this are really cool. When you use that middle pickup, or when you're splitting the bridge pickup, or when you're splitting this rail, the neck pickup, you know, the dual rail pickup. It gives, you know, it's a very, very low output pickup when you are using it like that, when you're splitting it, only using half of it. And it gives a very, you know, like kind of a little plinky, you know, sort of like pink, pink, you know, very percussive, not as much sustain. But it gives a really unique sound, and it's a really cool sound to get out of a guitar that also has like a really hot bridge pickup in it. So definitely a huge variety of tones that you can get out of this guitar. Now, if I'm being totally honest here, the pickup switching setup, it takes a little getting used to. It's not super intuitive. I think when you get one of these guitars, if you get this exact model with this pickup system on it, you got to read the instructions and know which one you're really selecting. One thing in particular, I would rather, like when I go all the way to the neck, you can have it set up where when you're in that position, you're only using half of the neck pickup. And if you want to use like the middle and the neck, it's the second to last position. That's the sound that I would really go for much more often. And so if you're shredding along and you're like bam, bam, you know, you're trying to switch very quickly back and forth between those two positions. So for me, it's a little bit cumbersome to go bam all the way and then back one, you know, to get that sound that I want. So all that being said, I just got this guitar, and I think if you're playing this as your main guitar and you just get used to it and you're remembering, you know, what pickup position is which, then you're not really going to have any problems. It's certainly easy enough to use once you understand how it works. Also, another thing that I'm a little bit on the fence about is this very cool looking clear pick guard. This guitar is brand new. The clear pick guard looks awesome. You can see the flame top underneath. That's great. But imagine if you're sweating on this, or if you are doing bar gigs and you spill a beer on this or something like that. Imagine how nasty that's going to get if you get something under the pick guard. Now, of course, you can take these screws off. You can take the pick guard off and you could clean that if you had to. But I kind of think, as cool as this looks, for me personally, I think I would rather just have it without the pick guard. You know, I'm really nitpicking here. They have other models of this guitar that don't have the pick guards. It really just comes down to personal preference. So here's the thing, guys. For this guitar, you know, a made in Japan, really high-end guitar, for the price, I don't think you could do any better than this. It's got great hardware. It's got the features and specs that everybody wants in guitars these days, you know, the stainless steel frets and the roasted neck and so forth. And at the same time, the fit and finish on this guitar is absolutely flawless. You know, there are other companies, you know, Harley Benton, right, that offer great value, right, you know, great bang for your buck, where you're going to get really good hardware and really good features and that kind of stuff. But in all honesty, the fit and finish of those guitars is not up to this level right here. So overall, I'm really happy with this. I'm really happy that there is a Japanese company out there making a high-end guitar like this that, you know, doesn't cost $2,000 to $3,000 like so many other, or even more than that, you know, like so many other Japanese-made guitars out there today. So guys, let me know what you think of this guitar down in the comments. I know, you know, a lot of the other guys, the other YouTuber guitar guys, have checked out some of these guitars. They seem to like them as well. I know Darrell Braun, he really liked the one that he got. So I'm right there with him on this. I mean, it's a beautiful guitar, great fit and finish, great features, still very affordable. And yeah, guys, so just let me know what you think about the guitar down in the comments section below. And as usual, guys, I'm going to have links for everything I was talking about in the video down in the video description below. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you very soon.